For this series in Spacecraft Guide, we are going to focus on the Space Shuttle. We're going to concentrate on the flight instruments to teach you how the astronauts flew the Space Shuttle in flight and in orbit. In this issue of Spacecraft Guide, I am going to continue to teach you how to fly the Space Shuttle, and I am also going to show you how to use this virtual reality tour of the shuttle, where you can actually zoom into parts of it, like this over here on the command module, this panel, and also be able to click on the components like we've been doing with the primary flight display. And that's at the end of the video. I'll show you how you can be able to do that by joining my Patreon page. But first, before we do that, we're going to now go from the primary flight instruments to the actual switches that control the primary flight instruments. And this week we are going to work on the HSI mode selector entry switch. And when you click on it, it takes you to the HSI select mode entry switch, which is this switch right here. Now, this is a very important switch. It enables the HSI auto switching of landing mode, the entry TAEM or approach. These HSI area navigation software modes are slightly different from the guidance phases, virtually identical with identical names, entry, TAEM, and approach and landing. The landing position enables the HSI mode auto switching from entry to TAEM to approach, or the TAEM and approach modes can be entered directly, respectively taking the HSI select mode switch to TAEM and approach. Now, one of the things we need to explain here is entry is actually, this phase is when you're entering the atmosphere. So you enter the atmosphere, and when you come from outer space, you go into the atmosphere, and that'll take you to TAEM, which is Terminal Area Energy Management. So what you're doing is, okay, you've broken into the atmosphere. Now you're going to go from a few 100,000 feet down to where you can do the approach. And this approach is going to be either in the TACAN or the microwave landing system. And that is, you can see all of that is going to be, we're going to go here back to this part of the shuttle. And this is the HSI. So the error needles and the roll needles and roll error needles and the pitch arrow needles and the yaw arrow needles, this is all going to be selected for either the entry, which is coming into the atmosphere, or the TAEM, the Terminal Area Energy Management, or the really important part, the TACAN and microwave landing system. So that switch that we're talking about is going to affect these needles. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, even a free Patreon subscriber, we're going to show you, I'm going to go into the schematics, bring up a diagram and show you exactly where the entry, the TAEM or approach is going, how that is going to affect the spacecraft by selecting points on this switch. Now, on the other thing I wanted to say is the switch, if we have it in the entry mode, that's in an auto mode, so it automatically goes from entry to the Terminal Area Energy Management section to the approach section. It's going to do it automatically, but let's just say, for instance, that it's not you've gone through the atmosphere, and you need guidance for slowing down. You need terminal error area energy management. You have to manage the energy that you're bleeding off so you can come into land, but it hasn't switched that mode. What you're going to do is you're going to move this switch to TAEM, and that's going to force the needles that I showed you before, the row, yaw, and pitch error needles to the team, so you can actually bleed off that energy and get ready for the approach. Or let's just say you've bled off the energy and you're coming up to the approach and you need that microwave landing system. You're going to move this switch into the approach mode, and that's what that switch does. It's very, very important for flying the space shuttle. So let's go into the schematics for our paying and free. And if it's free, why aren't you being part of it? I'm going to show you down below. It's part of the Spacecraft Interactive Virtual Reality Museum, where you're going to be able to go in to the schematics here, and you can look at it all for free. All you have to do is sign up with an email, and then I'll give you weekly updates. You'll get information that you don't see here, and you'll get this information I'm talking about before anybody else. So what are you waiting for? It's free. So if you are a Patreon subscriber of mine and you click on schematics,